Okay, welcome back. We are going to be doing lesson number 2. I have already logged into my computer. If you don't remember how to log in, your username is your lunch number, and your password is the first 3 letters of your last name, and then the random numbers that the school gave you. If you don't remember it, you can ask me, but you do need to start remembering your username and password because you'll be using it not only in here, but for other things that we are doing in the school. So it is a good idea to start memorizing it. I can tell that I finished and I saved properly because I see my square saved right there on the desktop. If you don't see it and you think you saved it, you probably saved it somewhere other than on the desktop. But either way, we're going to open back up our Autodesk Inventor Pro. So I'm going to double click and then I'm going to wait until the program opens. It does take a minute. This time you probably will not have to type in that you agree or that you accept the terms and conditions because you've done that yesterday. But if it asks you, you still need to say, yes, I accept the policy, conditions, and all that stuff. All right. You guys should see if you saved it, your recent items, you should only have 1. So yours will probably be showing up right here. I have other things on here. So I would have to search and try to find my square that I saved. I can click on date modified and I can see right here that, oh, you couldn't see that. I clicked on the date modified here and I could see yesterday that I saved my square. This is the one that I want, and I'm going to open up the selected one. So it is going to take a little bit of time, but it will open up my drawing. My drawing is turned a little bit sideways because it saved it in the 3D model mode. You can see right here, it saved it in 3D model. And there's all these weird things that you can do with it that we don't know what it does, at least not yet. Okay? I don't want to do any of these buttons. I don't know what they mean. I don't want to do anything with that. I'm going to go back to my first sketch. So over here, I have my model bar that is telling me everything that I've done. And I haven't done a whole lot of things, so there's not a whole lot listed. As we do more and more things, it'll list more and more things that we've done along here. So it's almost like keeping track of pages of a book. So the first thing that we did was the first page, and that was sketch 1. And when I go over top of it, it actually highlights it in green. So I can say, oh yeah, sketch 1, I made this square. If I had more than one sketch, it'll only highlight the things I did in sketch 1. In sketch 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, whatever it is, will stay black. So if I want to adjust anything I did in sketch 1, I go over top of it and I click it. Now I have some options. I can create an extrude. We don't know what that means yet. Create a revolve. We don't know what that means yet. Or I can edit my sketch. That sounds like what I want to do. So I click on it. That button that just came up, that was just an update that's available. I'll do that later. So when I clicked on edit my sketch, it brought me back to where I was before. Okay? I have my 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch square, and it looks just how I left it yesterday. I am going to actually change my dimensions. And the reason I'm doing this is to show you how you can change things. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you changed your mind. Maybe For whatever reason, you just need to change the size or the shape of something. So I'm going to click on this dimension here. When I'm over top, it highlights it in green. And I'm just going to click it one time. Oh, I had to double click it, sorry. And now I'm going to change that from a 1/2 inch, 0.5, I'm going to type in 1. I don't have to type in 1 inch. The computer knows I'm dealing with inches. So I don't have to type in IN. I just type in 1 and I can hit the check mark. And it has now made my square not a square, it actually turned it into a rectangle. It made it 1 inch wide. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on this one, double click, and I'm going to do the same thing. I type in 1 and then I hit the green check and it made it 1 inch tall, but I can't see my drawing. It made it too big for the screen. So I need to come over here and look at this view panel, and it has these options here. One of the options it has is this magnifying glass on a sheet of paper. That is the zoom all or the home button. So if I click it, it's gonna zoom out so I can see everything perfectly centered in the middle of my screen. Now I can see everything that I want to see. I like it, it looks good. I can deal with it, I can draw, I can see everything I need to see. So this button is a really good button to remember because sometimes we accidentally zoom in or zoom out and we can't see it the size we want. We can just click this and it'll kind of return it back to a good view where we can see everything in the middle of the screen. Okay, so now I'm gonna add something to my square here. I am going to add a circle. So the next shape I'm going to click on is the circle button. I click on it and now I drag my circle down into the middle of my square. And you can barely see it on the screen right now, but there is a dotted line and a dotted line. It's helping me. It's telling me that I am in the exact middle. I'm halfway in between those 1 inch lines. I'm halfway in between the up and down and the side to side lines. So I can click right there and I'll know I'm in the middle of the square. And now I can start dragging out my circle as big as I want to make it. So I want to make a 1/2 inch circle. So I'm going to type in 0.5 and then I'm going to hit the enter button. I now have a 1/2 inch circle exactly in the middle of my square. If for some reason you made a mistake or I kept clicking and I made way more circles than I wanted, I don't want to do this. So please don't worry about doing this right now. But I have a lot of stuff I don't want there anymore. A good button to remember is, I guess I'm making an extra one on accident, but I made an extra one. I want to undo everything that I've just done. I don't want it there anymore. So I want to undo it. In the upper corner of the screen right here, there's an arrow that's pointing back. It says undo creates circle by center and rotation. So it's saying I want to undo the last thing I did, and I can undo it. Undo, 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 and it will take away as far back as I want to go. So I'm back to where I want, or I might say, oh shoot, I do want to do that last one. I can do the redo. And it will redo or say, yep, I wanted that one, or nope, I didn't want that one. So it will undo or redo by hitting those arrows. Okay? From here, we are going to add dimensions. I should be, because I used that little tool that showed me dot, 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 dot. I was right in the middle. I think I'm right in the middle. I'm not 100% sure. So I'm going to use this dimension tool again. So I'm going to click on the dimension tool. It looks kind of like a field goal, I think, but it's dimension saying the distance from here to here. That's what the arrows are saying. How far is it from one line to another, or one point to another? So I wonder, how far is it from this line to this center dot of my circle? So that's what I want. I want a dimension that's going to tell me. So from this dot, I click, and then I go over here to this dot, I click, and now I can drag it. Do I want it up out of the square? Do I want it higher? Do I want it here in the middle? Where do I want it? I like it here. So I'll click again, and it says it is 1/2 of an inch, 0.50000. That's what I want, and I'll click OK. I'll click this check. If it was something other than 0.50000, if it was 0.512 or 0.49 or something like that, I would type in 0.5. You don't have to worry about typing in those zeros. Now I want to know how far from this center dot of my circle to the bottom of my square. How far is that? So I'm still selected in dimension. I'm going to click here. I'm going to go down to the bottom. I'm going to click here. And now drag it off to the side and click OK. Again, it is 0.5000. If it was something else, or I wanted it something different, I could type in a different number, 390 if I wanted to. I don't want that to be the number, but I could change it to anything I wanted. I do want it 0.5. I don't have to worry about hitting all those zeros. And then I could either hit the check mark there, or I could hit enter on my keyboard. So I have a 1-inch square with a 1/2 inch circle in the very middle. I want to save it again. So I'm going up here to the save button. I click it. It says again, I cannot close this. I can't save it in my sketch mode. So I hit OK. It's going to turn it sideways. It brought me back to my 3D mode. And it's going to allow me to save in 3D mode, because for whatever reason, it doesn't let us save in sketch mode. This time, it's not asking me to name it, because I've already saved it before as square, and I can see it saying it's square up here. It's just saving it again as the same thing that I wanted to save it before. So it's a good button to click every once in a while. If you do some work, maybe 5-10 minutes of good work, you can click save, and it's going to save it, and all your progress is there. You don't have to worry about losing it. All right. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you about step 3.